Honky wants to know what the first rule of Raccoon Fight Club is. That's right. You don't squeak about Raccoon Fight Club.
So, one thing we were going to talk about today, and we'll just kind of spur this up as a topic of conversation in the chat room. We're going to talk about a friend of ours murmuring through the crowds that maybe he's going to start a homebrew store. Kind of one of those deals. There are a few homebrew stores in our area, but they're of different types and of different natures.
And one of them is widely believed to be going out of business imminently.
Yeah, just because just looks like a little too much overhead and
I think that they've just got a lousy location there in Southeast Fort Worth. You gotta consider the radius of who you're selling to, and there's just not a lot of homebrewers in the Southeast Fort Worth ghetto in Mansfield.
And it's tough too because you try to make money selling beer supplies to people that are ridiculously cheap when it comes to buying stuff to make their beer. I mean, we are so cheap. We will eBay and Craigslist whatever we possibly can. And I don't know what it is about it that intrinsically brings people to brewing their own beer, but maybe it's just the fact that they think they can do it cheaper than somebody can sell their little 40 cent.
I think that's a big part of it.
And then they realize, oh man, those guys selling the Budweiser, they're advertisers. They're not selling beer. They're selling something that you're going to keep buying your whole life. That's what they do.
So we were chatting with him on Saturday,
right,
during the Big Brew event, which we've talked about on the show in the past, and we'll talk about in the future, but that's not for tonight.
It's for the future.
And he wanted to know from us what we look for, like what we would want to see in a homebrew store. Just, he wanted ideas.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to home brewers about what we want to see, so that if and when he starts this, he can make sure to bring to people what they're looking for.
Not two people, actually more than two people.
More than two.
He wants to bring everybody what they want.
Like at least we're talking minimum of 3.5 people.
So one thing we were talking about before the show was this is such a neat idea because he was discussing what people have talked about, making it more of a public venue where people can come in, have a beer he's made, maybe, he doesn't know about the logistics or how any of that would work, but make it more of a friendly atmosphere for people to come in and learn how to brew a beer or buy one of his kits that he's put together of a recipe they can drink while they're there.
Yeah.
So those are some ideas. But we were thinking, well, what about some of our fans? Not all our fans brew beer. Not all the people that are viewing and watching our show brew beer. So, there are different people out there that enjoy beer and they enjoy beer festivities, that enjoy going to a bar and having beer. Well, what would you guys want in a homebrew store? What would bring you there?
Honky loves the idea of kits that help him brew his own while explaining the process. Chris likes something limited or commemorative, like maybe like a mug of the month is something we were talking about.
Yeah.
This agitation, frustration, the memorization of the things I'm gonna do to you. This magical and powerful addiction to the pain affliction on your porcelain skin.
I will grab you with my claws, locked down with a death grip, and when I'm done, I'll let go.